It's one of the most frustrating things if you can't sleep. I've got 3 specific tips for you today on how to calm down so you can sleep. First of all, let's be clear about what some of the dynamics are related to sleep when it comes to your mind and your body's natural mechanisms that allow you to sleep or to not sleep, as the case may be. Your brain is designed to take care of you in every way you can possibly imagine. Sleep is one of those ways, but so is defense. If you're in danger, your brain and your body will respond in ways that prepare you to fight or to run away, to defend yourself from whatever the perceived threat is. That's incompatible with sleep. Sometimes your brain gets going on things that cause a little sense of threat, put your body into fight or flight mode, you get all wound up, and you can't sleep. Physiologically, it's not possible in that moment because your brain won't allow it to happen. It's not safe. It wants to keep you awake so you can fight or run away. That's the problem that we run into a lot of times. Now, the part of your brain that detects threat, collectively we call that part of your brain the limbic system. Its job is to keep you alive. It doesn't do any thinking. That's for the higher cortical regions of your brain up in the prefrontal lobe and some of that higher cortical area. That's where the thinking happens, not down in the fight or flight part of your brain. So this part of your brain can't even discern between a threat that is real and a threat that is simply perceived. Either way, it kicks you into a chemical response that we call the fight or flight response. And understand that this is chemistry that's going through your body, through your bloodstream. I promised you as I started this video that I'd give you at least 3 tips. Here they come. The first one has to do with an understanding of one basic fact. It is easier to get your mind to think about something than it is to stop your mind from thinking about something. In fact, that can be kind of impossible sometimes. What if I told you, okay, think about bananas. Can you do that? Yeah, you can think about bananas. Not a problem. You know the color, the shape, the taste, texture. You got it. You're going bananas, right? What if I tell you, okay, do not think about grapefruit. How you doing? You know the big round ones that are sour and they squirt you in the eye when you stick a spoon in them? Do not think about grapefruit. Almost impossible, huh? Because my mentioning it to you has you thinking about it. Sometimes when we're trying to sleep, we've got something rolling through our mind that we're trying not to think about. How's that going for you? And that thing that's rolling through our mind is causing at least mild levels of threat, which triggers the fight or flight response. We're off to the races. We're not going to sleep. It's not safe. It's easier to invite your mind to think of something else. So here's the first tip. Invite your mind to engage and think about something else. Something that is completely non-threatening. And I recommend that you pick something that's a little tedious, that's maybe a little boring, but that requires some serious focus and concentration. Here's a good example. Counting backwards from 100 by 3s. You're thinking, can I even do that? Yeah, you can. You can handle the math. But here's what happens. Your mind has to focus on that. Guess what it's not focusing on while you're focusing on counting backwards by 3s? All that stuff that's causing the threat. Now you got to give it a few minutes because the chemistry has a half-life. You have to give yourself time to absorb the chemistry that's already been secreted into your bloodstream, but stick with it. Now, what you're going to find is that you get distracted. You'll get down to maybe 70, and you'll be like, wait a minute, and you're thinking of something else. Okay, if you get distracted, start over. Go back to 100. Okay, 100, 97, 94, and get focused on it again. Anytime you get off of it, go back to 100, start over. This is a pretty cool trick because what we're doing is just taking our mind from what was causing the fight or flight to something that's probably not going to cause the fight or flight, but it's going to require some mental energy to sustain. Give it a try. Here's my second tip. Breathing. Simple breathing. You can add meditation and mindfulness practices to this. The breathing itself is so powerful. Why? Because it's linked to the same part of your brain that causes the fight or flight response that's interfering with your sleeping in the first place. The breathing center of your brain is in close enough proximity that it's going to probably be the most easy part of that brain to control. I could say, hey, bring your blood pressure down. And you're like, how do I do that? I have no idea how to do that. But you can control your breathing. So we're going to control that because we can. What I recommend is a nice deep breath in through the nose. Stretch those lungs a little bit and then hold. And while you're holding, check and see if there's any tension. Stretch it out a little bit. Just briefly, you don't have to hold a long time, and then out nice and slow through the mouth. Purse your lips, restrict the flow. We want to take at least twice as long to exhale as we did to inhale. That's going to cause a physiological response in your body and in your brain. Do this 3, 4, 5 times in a row and just see the calming effect that can have. In fact, if you couple the breathing with the tedious task like counting backwards by 3s from 100, and incidentally, I usually do that in another language. If you know another language, use the other language to count backwards by 3s from 100. It just increases the impact. Combine these things and you're going to see some neat things happening. Now, what if you've tried these things and your mind just can't let go of whatever it is that you're worried about that's keeping you from sleeping? Here's a little trick that my dad taught me, and this is tip number 3. It's called a Worry About It Wednesday list. Get you a little notebook or journal or even a pad of paper and write on it, Worry About It Wednesday. That can be the title on the top of your little notebook. Keep that right by your bed. When your mind continues to work on these things that really you can't do anything about right now anyway because you got to get some sleep, sit up long enough to go over to your little notebook and jot down what it is that you're worried about in your Worry About It Wednesday book. Now, what are you going to do with it? Well, you're going to worry about it Wednesday. I don't care what day today is, Wednesday's still coming, right? Give yourself permission to worry about it, but not till Wednesday. Now, when Wednesday comes, pick up your book, open it up, cross off everything that's taken care of itself by then, and then put everything else on the list for next week. I'm not saying that you're not going to work on those things in the meantime. You will. I just don't want it to bother you while you're trying to sleep. This is a psychological trick that allows you to give yourself permission to let it go so that you don't continue to torture yourself mercilessly as you're trying to get some sleep. Your mind is like, oh, we're going to worry about it Wednesday. Okay. Good. I was afraid that we were going to forget about it. No, it's on the list. It's a psychological trick that's going to help you to let go of it so that you can sleep. Thank you for spending your time here at Live on Purpose TV. We have several playlists that you might want to check out. Personal development, positive parenting, all kinds of great stuff for you to enjoy and to share. If you haven't subscribed yet, please join our community. Hit that subscribe button right now.
In the street alone. Her head was down, face locked onto the phone. And I wished I'd had a number.